You mentioned to BC this comment that Coach Rhule talked about how much he loves it here,
Yeah.
and you would imagine that isn't. I think it's more rare than we appreciate. Because then I started thinking, I was like, okay, who's the last Nebraska coach that loved it here? Like loved being here, loved the job, loved the people,
I would say Frank, Coach Solich.
and not by the end probably.
Yeah, but see, that's different.
Oh, I know.
Okay, because yeah, I mean, but you don't really, if you're in love, you don't really. Yes, you can fall out of love,
No, but he
but
was hurt by the end.
no question,
Yeah,
no question.
not that he didn't love it here anymore.
But so here's the thing that I think, and I don't. Well, hopefully, it's not put to the test. But one of the things that's interesting about Coach Rule
Hmm.
is he has this uncanny ability to eat the meat and spit out the bones.
Yeah, take the good and leave the bad.
Yep. And he doesn't allow it to, like, he can parse through it.
It's a perspective thing, right?
Well, I'll give you a good example. Trev,
Hmm.
just he and I, this was, I don't know, this is during one of the spring practices. We're over by the garage in the weight room and we're just talking. And he said, we get so attached to things and we're so afraid to let go that we don't enjoy what it is in the moment.
Hmm.
He said, like Trev, for instance, did a lot of good things, but it's a transactional world. Things happen. I can't get attached to stuff. That's why I said at the press conference, he'll always be a friend. I consider him this,
Hmm.
I consider him that, but I'm not mad. I understand people have to do what's best for them and we move on.
Hmm.
And he was so matter of fact about it that I was like, you know what? What's the practical application of, and then insert the blank.
Hmm.
So even if it were to go south, he can't take back the way that like the fans made him feel before it went whatever.
Yeah.
You can't unknow that. You can't unknow the joy that your daughters have at their school because their school is so invested in them. You can't take back the fact that Brant wants to be here so bad because of the people here. You
Hmm.
can't take back the fact that, you know, how his wife's been treated, how he's been received. Like they're in there.
Hmm.
You don't get to say, yeah, but that doesn't really happen. And he's better at that than most. Because what we try what people that aren't as I don't what's the word that aren't as maybe thought provoking or don't have that kind of depth,
Hmm.
we will compartmentalize. We'll find ways to fuel
Hmm.
how we think we should feel when something devastating happens. So we'll just look at the negatives,
Yeah, it's the confirmation bias, right?
right?
You go
It's
back
like
and see what you want to see.
you look at all the bad stuff. Well,
Hmm.
they did this and they did that. Well, I'm glad it's and
Hmm.
but you can't fool yourself. My buddy Aaron's always talking about the man in the mirror, the poem. It's a it's a Dr. Lucas thing
Hmm.
too for the district. So I think the more honest we are with ourselves real time when things like that, like you can take the good and you can acknowledge the bad. It doesn't mean that the good never happened.
Yeah.
So I think when you have the ability to do that, like the love is the love. If you truly loved it.
Hmm.
Like if you and I don't mean like and I get into this probably twice a year about the different types of love. I'm talking about the agape love, like the unconditional,
Hmm.
not the phileo, um, or brotherly love, or like eros, like erotic type love. I'm
Hmm.
talking about like doesn't matter. I'm
Like
in.
ride or
I love
die. Yeah.
unconditional.
Yeah.
Like that stuff that it doesn't go away. And it's like when I text him or we were having a conversation about the thank you notes, right? I
Hmm.
should so when we got back from Lincoln, like
from the official visit.
was it Tuesday?
Yeah.
There were all the mailbox was stuffed. It was all these letters, handwritten letters. It was Zoe, Micah. I don't think they included maybe Caleb. Yeah, Caleb had his own pile. They were all individual from the staff about saying thank you for our time and this, that, and the other. And so I told him, it's pretty cool. Like that, expecting that quick turnaround wasn't really necessary. And he said, that shouldn't be that spectacular. There's a way to do things and there's a way to not. And it made me think of all the times we want back padding for things
that's just the right way to do things.
That's just what you're supposed to do. And he's like, hey man, we just forgot how to do things. We forgot how to talk to one another and be appreciative of one another. No big deal. Well, and I just was like, all right.
That goes to the way
put that Dad of the Year trophy that I wanted away just because my kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just and to a man and to a woman, and I'm not kidding you. Ask anybody in my family. It was weird how all the staff and even the other day moving Knucklehead in, it was, the cool thing about it is there's just this unique thing to want to get better when you're around him. Like you want to be better, whether it's, how you leave something, what you're doing, the job, like he almost to a person. And I'm like, are you guys, is this like mind control? No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Even here's two new guys, one from Upper New York and one was from Eastern Kentucky. One Gus hired, one Coach, Sean Patton hired, or Coach Rhule. And they both said the same thing. They've been there for a month. Well, I'm the new guy, right? And I just ask him about, me. I'm asking. I want.
You want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, let me ask the new guy.
Might as well, right?
Right. And they
haven't been indoctrinated yet.
Everybody says the same thing. Ask Jay Terry, ask the equipment guys. Like you want to do right and do better because I think you think that that's what they'll do for you.
Yes.
That's the sense that I get.
That's where the trust comes in, right? When you have a level of trust that that like somebody will do for you, and maybe it shouldn't be that way. And this makes it sound transactional. I don't think it is. But it's like when you trust that somebody's got your back, then the lengths you're willing to go for that person are almost endless.
Yeah. And there's still this level of listen, it's not always super myopic, he's like, listen, sometimes want to like you have to have a certain baseline.
Yeah, sometimes it's not enough.
Right?
A lot of people want to.
Yeah, he's like, listen, I wanted to be the starting middle linebacker. Nobody wanted to be the starting middle linebacker for Penn State more than I did, but trust me.
Yeah.
I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so there's reality to it too. But there's just something when people are honest enough to give those assessments because they care.
Well, and that's the self-awareness thing we talk about all the time, right? And you touched on something there that I want to get to in the next segment about not needing a back pat for doing the right thing. But I think there's a fine line there between encouraging behavior and enabling mediocrity.
Yeah.
And we can get into that next year on Hurrdat Sports Radio.